Okay, if I don't get started, I'm never gonna get started. Listen, hey, I missed you. I missed you. It's good to be back, okay, on the channel. As you can see, it's still the same background. If you've seen Podworks videos, you know that my PC, yes, my very expensive, by the way, 3,000 plus dollar PC, decided to blow its power supply. That was $300 by itself, just the power supply. 1200 watt platinum cooler master power supply just blew up for nothing. They're gonna replace it, so that's nice. But yeah, I PC is a miserable experience. Can I just say that? I hate PC. I really do. I mean, I used to hate it just for gaming, but now I hate it even for like just daily tasks because I have an expensive PC that is currently parked there, a huge paperweight. I have a laptop which is also expensive. At least it was at the time that I bought it, and it just sucks. Windows just sucks. Like I think I'm seriously considering just going to Apple. And I hate Apple's like operating system. I hate Mac OS. I don't like it. But there's just something about the carelessness with which PCs are thrown together, the carelessness of the operating system that I just can't stand anymore. So I think I'm just gonna give Apple a go. Maybe migrate my devices over and see how bad it is on that side because surely it can't be any worse, can it? Can it actually be worse? I don't need my PC for gaming, so it's whatever. But just daily tasks on PC suck. For example, this whole video, right? I had it. I wanted to shoot it. I download OBS onto this laptop, and then when I'm about to press record, there's a driver that doesn't support whatever codec. What on earth, man? Jesus Christ. So then I have to download the video, driver, download the thing, and then I have to sign in. I have to give them an email. Ugh. You guys know, PC gamers, you know how much we don't like giving emails. So I have to do that, sign up for a free account. Disgusting. And then I have to click download on the driver, and then I come back 3 hours later, and this thing is still not doing anything because I didn't click install. Like, did you think I downloaded it for the fun of it? Like, I was just like, let's, exercise my internet. No. anyways, anyways, that is a rant that I didn't even think I was gonna go on. I hate PC. It's a good starting point. Okay, all right. What are we going to talk about today? I was going to delete this. I was going to like just start over and then just go straight into the conversation about the PlayStation 5 Pro. But you know what? I wanted to live on. I wanted to live on my hatred for the PCs that I've invested over $5,000 in combined. And actually, every other PC before that, like I've never actually had a good experience on PC. It's one of those things where it's like you don't realize how bad it is until you take a look back and you're like, wait, I've spent thousands of dollars on these devices and I've never really enjoyed any of them. I enjoy my phone. I've enjoyed my phone. There's been times where I have genuinely enjoyed my phone. There's even been times where I've genuinely enjoyed like very basic Android tablets, but I've never enjoyed my PC. At best, it's been passable. It has been passable, but dollar invested versus the ROI, not giving it. So you know what? I think the more I talk to you, I think this whole video is just me convincing myself to buy a Macintosh now. And I feel like this whole video is basically like, yeah, Emmanuel is done with PC. He's gonna go to Apple. That's basically. We're gonna talk about PlayStation 5 Pro though, and I'm not gonna delete this. I'm not gonna start over, because why not? Why would I? Why would I? It's what you came here for, or it's not what you came here for, but it's my channel, so you got it anyway. You're welcome. Okay, let's talk about PlayStation 5 Pro. First, let's talk about what it is, what it offers, just a quick little bit because everybody already knows about it, right? I'm not gonna belabor every single point. Oh, by the way, the whole setup here is still kind of very basic, so you're just gonna have to bear with me as I switch through different things over here, and it's not as streamlined as the setup that I had before when my expensive PC still decided to work, which was nice of it, I suppose. I suppose I should just be grateful that it worked ever, because why expect more from a device that is, why would I? Okay, so over here, let's go ahead and switch this. So over here, we have the welcome to PlayStation 5 Pro. Okay, let's get the things out of the way. It's going to target, I'm not going to wait for this, by the way. It's going to target 4K 60. What is it? It has a blah, 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 45% faster rendering, whatever that means. Advanced ray tracing, whatever that means. AI driven upscaling, whatever that means. Like all of these buzzwords and everything, that doesn't matter. What actually matters? Okay, 8500 backwards compatible PlayStation 4 games will be available on the PlayStation 5 Pro, and then they're going to have game boost. We're going to see that's probably going to be a small marginal improvement on your game. So, for example, if a game had a performance mode, and then that performance mode was hitting the 50s, maybe high 40s, then this thing hopefully should bring it up to 60 because this is the automatic mode that your PlayStation just does natively. And then if the developer takes the time and invests themselves to give a dedicated PlayStation 5 Pro mode, then maybe you can get a little bit more out of it. But anyways, that's PlayStation 4 games, and I don't expect developers to go all the way back to PlayStation 4 games unless those games are recent games that happen to be cross-generational. But then again, then they will work on the PlayStation 5 version of those games, wouldn't they? So anyways, this is going to be a small little boost. Nice little improvement, nothing to talk about. Okay, moving a little bit forward. This is gonna have Wi-Fi 7. I appreciate it. My particular console, my actual router is behind me. It's like right here, but my PlayStation is actually behind this wall. So there's no Ethernet cable link. No, I'm not gonna do it. So it's nice to have a little faster Wi-Fi. Sure, whatever. Then over here, they talk about how they're going to have dedicated PlayStation 5 Pro mode in some of the games, including Alan Wake 2, Demon's Souls, Dragon's Dogma 2, The Last of Us Part 2, Spider-Man 2. You can read all of this yourself. That's cool. That's nice. Some of those games I'll play again. Spider-Man 2 I'll play again. Forbidden West, obviously, I have to play again. Hogwarts Legacy. I actually started this game. I was enjoying it. I stopped it. Gran Turismo 7. I can get back into it. Why not? Lots of games here that I will actually play. The first Descendant, if they ever put the Black Descendant in there, maybe I'll download it again and see what it's about. Okay. Oh, interesting thing about the design. So, in terms of height, this will have the same height as the original PlayStation 5 console, which is great. I love my console. I love the original design. The original design is better than the design of the PlayStation 5 Pro, but at least the Pro is better looking than the ugly ass PlayStation 5 Slim. I absolutely hate the Slim, and yet adding the Adidas stripes, you know, the three stripes over here somehow makes it a better design to me, to my eye. So basically I prefer the original, then the 5 Pro, and then the Slim is like, I think the Slim is just absolutely ugly. I think that is an ugly console. I absolutely hate every part of it. So it doesn't even rank. Okay, in terms of design, cool. It's going to be as tall as the original, but it's going to be slimmer because you know, I guess that they found a way to make that happen. So cool. In terms of width, it's going to be a little bit slimmer. Over here, this is the digital version. Looks very sleek. It looks very beautiful. Obviously, I'm going to have the physical, so it's going to have a bit of a pregnancy hump over there. It is what it is. I'm going to keep it moving. So yeah, that's the design. And you get the standard controller with it, which is actually nice because I've got 3 controllers at the moment. So when I get this, I guess I get 4. Oh, but actually, if I sell my current yeah, this probably, you know what, I think I'm gonna have to buy an extra controller anyway because I have fantasies of one day having enough friends to actually have 4-player couch co-op one day, you know. Sorry about that. I hit a it's PC, whatever. Okay, that's it. That's pretty much it. I don't think there's anything particularly pertinent. Oh, it will have a 2 terabyte SSD. That's nice that they bumped it up to 2 terabyte. That is over double what we get on the PlayStation 5 because right now we get 825 gigabytes. So that's a nice little touch. I didn't think they were going to upgrade the actual SSDs because I thought that they would take a sacrifice on the SSD, but then at the same time reduce the price overall for the package. I thought that's what they were going to do, but no, they decided to upgrade the SSD to a 2 terabyte, which I think is enough for most people. They will not need to add an additional drive on top of that, so that's great. Okay, so blah 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 blah. It's compatible with the current disk drive, so yes, there is, as you can see over here, This is what it looks like with the disk drive. This is the disk drive that you can attach yourself. Oh, actually, this is the PlayStation 5 Slim with the disk drive. But that disk drive that belongs to the Slim can be used on the PlayStation 5 Pro. So, anyways, it does have a physical option, so that is cool. That's all the boring stuff. That is all the boring stuff out of the way. So let's talk a little bit about my reception of it and what I think about this particular product. So here it is. Number one, I don't want to convince you of anything. You already have an opinion about this, whether you are in favor of it, whether you are not, whether you are in favor of it but think it should be cheaper, whether you are like, hell no, it doesn't matter. I do not want to change your mind, boy. Like I could not care less about what you do or what you decided. Like, your prerogative, your decision, you know. So all I'm gonna do is I'm going to talk about the things for me, but please, I'm just gonna say this one time. This is not in an effort to convince you or to change your mind. It's simply a discussion. You clicked on the video. If you feel like you need to be convinced or validated or motivated, just click off right now, because this is not the video for you. It's not what I do. I'm not an influencer. I'm not trying to change your mind. So let's go. Here is what I think. Actually, no. Before we go to what I think, let's go backwards, because a lot of people, they think that somehow because I happen to be in favor of like a lot of moves that PlayStation makes, that I just change my mind on a dime, and somehow, you know, I am a corporate bootlicker, as they love to say. It's so funny. Because, anyways, they have this impression of me, which is of course false. So what we're gonna do is, before I speak, we're going to go back to what I spoke 9 months ago, way before this PlayStation 5 Pro thing even had like half of the details, half of the details put out there as rumors. We're gonna go back to what I said, and then you're going to listen to me say those things 9 months ago, so that when I speak today and I say this is what I think about the PlayStation 5 Pro, hopefully you can see that there's consistency with what I was saying, because I think it's important to show that, because you know, even if you give me the benefit of the doubt, it is good to know that you are listening to a person that is genuine. So that's what we're going to try to achieve over here. Okay, so here I am. Because I have no interest in it, okay? However, if it is going to be a thing, here's what I want. It's very simple. I want to be able to achieve 4K 120 frames per second. That's it. That's all. This is something that... Oh, by the way, the video is a little bit sped up. So in case you're thinking, why is it talking so fast? I speed up videos when we're watching them, because I would get bored listening to things at normal volume. So just put up with it for a little bit. It was printed on the original PlayStation 5 box, and it's therefore something that I have as an expectation, because when I bought my TV, I made sure that I had the capability for 4K 120 FPS. So the way that I see it, I have no issues with the box having printed out for the PlayStation 5. I love the PlayStation 5 system. It is what it is. However, you as Sony, you decided to put this up there and you said it there. So let's just take a look at what I'm saying. So you see over here, if you look at this box here, you will see that it has it right there. 4K 120 frames. You know, this is on every PlayStation 5 box, no matter where it is that you find it in the world. It says 4K 120. I don't care if it says up to 4K 120, blah, 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 blah. I'm not here to argue it. I'm not even here to denigrate it for not being able to deliver both at once with the base PS5. I don't mind, guys. I really, truly do not. What I wonder, if you're going to do a PlayStation 5 Pro, you need to show up in a big way. I think that the PlayStation 4 Pro was pretty much garbage, and it wasn't worth it, because it wasn't worth an additional SKU out there existing for the tiny little cute upgrade that it gave here once in a while in certain games, blah, blah, no. So one of the biggest difference between the PlayStation 4 Pro and the PlayStation 5 Pro for me is, even all the way back there, I always kept saying, you have to have something that is worth taking out of the box. I truly do not feel like the PlayStation 4 Pro was worth taking out of the box. Like, if you already had a PlayStation 4, doing the swap over, it wasn't even worth the effort. And I'm talking about the person that received the PlayStation 4 Pro for free because I wanted to go competition, so I didn't even have to put my money behind it. It just wasn't really worth it. The upgrades that it gave you were marginal at best. If you were playing on VR, I think it had a more substantial upgrade from what people are saying, but I didn't play it on VR. I played it on just flat screen games and everything. I thought it was a cute upgrade, but I didn't think it was a worthy upgrade, okay? So again, my entire point is this. The PlayStation 5 Pro had to deliver a performance gain that was substantial enough to justify its own existence. Beyond that point, issues like price and everything, that's not up to me to decide. Me, I want put a product that is actually tempting in front of me. Because if the PlayStation 5 Pro had just been a marginal upgrade, the way that the PlayStation 4 Pro was, then I wouldn't even have been making this video. I'd just be like, okay, they made it. If you want, go get it. But I've no interest in talking about it. But anyways, let's continue. Let's not do that. Let's do a massive step forward if we're going to take a step. Do it if you're going to do it. That's my entire point. 4K 120. So what would that look like? Very simple. Just like now, you will have two options in your, at least, PlayStation first party games. Fidelity mode, it should hit native 4K 60 frames per second. Isn't that funny? Is that funny that I said literally fidelity mode should hit native 4K 60? And when you take a look at what Mark Cerny presented, he basically said we want fidelity at 4K 60. I mean, this was 9 months. And we had no inkling about half of the things that we had. I literally just said, if you're going to create this thing, make it do this in order to be actually worth any amount of thought or consideration from my part. And you will have the VR options unlocked if you want to go up to 80 frames per second, whatever it is, nobody cares. Then performance mode should hit 4K at 120 frames per second. I don't care if it's native, which you probably wouldn't be, but if it's checkerboard, fine. I don't care, guys. I just hit 4K 120. And this is where PISA is going to come in, right? The PlayStation Super Resolution Sampling, blah, 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 blah. I have no idea what it does. I don't care. All I care about is that it can do 4K 120. I don't care if it's frame gen. I don't care if it's AI. I don't care if it's machine learning. I don't care if it is a whole bunch of word salad, because a lot of people, they have this insecurity. They feel like if they don't know how to just spill out all of these marketing terms, then somehow they are less technically minded. But I don't care about technicality. I'm not into gaming to be technical. I'm not trying to be Moore's law is dead. Like, that's not what I want. All I want is the result. And the result for me is, if I get the PlayStation 5 Pro game and I put that shit on fidelity mode, it should hit 4K 60. If I'm like, okay, yeah, this is nice and this is cute, but I want even more frames, find a way to get you 4K 120. I don't care if it's checkerboard 4K, bro. I don't care if it's native 4K. I don't care if it's 1440p upscale to 4K. I don't care if it's 1080p upscale to 4K. I don't care if it's bro, just get you 4K 120. You put it in the box. You put it on the box. You have to deliver that. Another thing that they had to deliver was 8K resolution. So let's go. Now we'll allow it to even just do checkerboard 4K 100 frames per second plus. Like, as long as it is a massive step from 60, that performance mode will be worth it. Even if it doesn't quite hit 120, if it's averaging around 100 frames per second, we should be fine. So those are my thoughts on the PlayStation 5 Pro. As far as price, not my concern. Not because I don't have a budget. Everybody has a budget. But because I can save up whatever I need to save up. I can trade whatever I need to trade. If you give me 4K 120 and I can achieve that, I will do what I need to do in order to eventually down the line, even if I buy it 3 years down the line, I don't care. Okay, I don't care. It will be cheaper by then. I would need what I need to do to be financially responsible for myself. This isn't just something that I can go out and buy right away. Like, I'm not rich out here. I just don't want price to be the thing that stops me from getting what I want. Okay, so there we go. That is enough of past Emmanuel. Let's go ahead and see what present Emmanuel has to say. So there you go. That has always been my policy. This whole price thing, I would say this, and I've said this before and I say it again. A company is allowed to charge whatever they want for their product. That's it. Absorb it. Accept it. A company can charge whatever they want for their product. And you, as a consumer, are allowed to pay whatever you find acceptable. That's the true part. That's the two sides of the coin. They can charge whatever they want. You can pay whatever you find acceptable. That's it. Like, that's literally it. That's where the relation, that's where the buck stops. If they came out with the PlayStation 5 Pro, this exact same one, and it says $1,700 instead of $700, they were like, yeah, $1,700. Cool. They are allowed to charge that. But then a lot more people will say no. That's it. That's it. I personally would say no. No, thank you. I appreciate it. I am happy with my PlayStation 5. Everybody has a budget. Everybody has an envelope that they are willing to push, and there is a line that they're not willing to cross. That's literally it. I'm not trying to change what your budget is or what you think your finances should pay for. There's lots of you that have this broke mentality. And I mean broke mentality, not that you are broke, not that your wallet is broke, but your mental is broke because you think that it's your job as a consumer to be able to dictate to a company what they're allowed to charge or not, even though they have market segmentation and are trying to hit different price points for different people. There are people out there, bro, that buy Porsches, that buy Rolexes. Do you think that they make high-end products for the fun of it? Do you think that companies make yachts that cost $20 million just because they feel like it? No, they make them to sell. There are people buying $20 million yachts. There are people buying $200,000 handbags. There are people buying $2,000 PC cards. Nvidia doesn't make a 4090 because they felt like, ooh, that would be a nice number. No, they make it so that it sells. And it does sell. Me personally, if you gave me a manual, you're like, here is $10,000. You can spend it on whatever you want. I would never buy a 4090. Never. Not once in my life would I buy a 4090 because I don't value it. That's it. If I got a 4090 for free, I probably sell it. I don't value what that card can do. I don't value the results that it delivers. And therefore, almost irrespective of price, I don't have any reason to have it. I don't value what it offers. I don't value what a $200,000 handbag offers. I don't value what a $20 million yacht offers. Even if I had the budget for it, like if I became blessed enough that such monetary spending was within my means, I wouldn't buy the yacht. I wouldn't even buy a boat. I wouldn't even buy a canoe. I do not value being on the ocean. Like it's when I go to the beach most of the time I don't even get in the water. Like I believe that men are we're meant to be on land. Like okay, no, we are meant to be on land. That's general. I'm meant to be on land. If I wanted to be in the ocean, I would have been born as a fish. Okay, I don't like fish. I don't like things that come from the ocean. The ocean is creepy. Half of the time, why does seaweed exist? It's a very weird medium. I don't understand why a person would spend literally like the amount of like a small country's GDP on a yacht, like a very bad house that floats. I don't get it. But hey, power to the people that do. Power to the people that love fishing, to the people that love fish, the people that love being out on the water, people that love going to the beach. Power to all of you. I would never tell you not to spend your money on all of those activities, right? Please go ahead. It's your prerogative. But at the same time, there are things that I value. And for me, as you could tell, 9 months ago, I valued having a console that would actually justify the TV that I bought. Because again, I've told this story. When I went into this generation, I realized that I needed a new TV. So I thought to myself, okay, what are these consoles offering? Both consoles, because at the time I was considering both PlayStation and Xbox. And both of them alluded to the fact that 4K 120 would be like kind of the upper echelon of what they could do. So I got a TV that was 4K, 120, VRR, and HDMI 2.1 and OLED and 77 inches and from a good brand and all of that. All of the things that I could use to justify it. Once I came up with my kind of like marking rubric, I came down to two TVs. Actually, I came down to three. It was the LG G2, the LG C2, or the Sony A80J, and I ended up getting the Sony. So it has all of those functions. Now, PlayStation 5 comes out, Xbox Series X comes out, and it turns out that 4K 120 is basically borderline. It's just a little bit beyond their means. Like it's like they can push maybe like 1080p 120, or they can push maybe like 1236p 120, or maybe they can do like a native 1080p but then upscale to like 1440p and then you get that at 120 frames. But most of the time they don't even touch 120, right? Let me reduce this air conditioner, otherwise it's just going to make a lot of noise. So most of the time, they don't even touch 120. And what do you want me to do? What am I supposed to do with that? The only thing that I can do is then wish that there is going to be an update mid-gen cycle if we're going to talk about PlayStation 5 Pro that is actually going to give me the performance to justify the TV that I bought. Because the TV that I bought was much more expensive than these consoles will ever be, by the way. Like, my idea is that the TV can last 10 plus years because it will only be once we get into a generation. Let's say the PlayStation 6 Pro, where they're like, hey, Emmanuel, here is this capability that your TV just doesn't have. I don't even think it will be resolution or frame rate. I think it might just be something else, like something like VRR, but just something I cannot imagine right now. And they'll be like, that would be fantastic, Emmanuel. It will like synchronize each pixel to be like color accurate, exactly how the artist intended from their Wacom tablet to your display. Then I'd be like, oh, okay, I guess I want to get that whole synchronicity feature. So that's probably why I will upgrade a TV. But I thought of the TV as a long-term purchase for my gaming pleasure. Obviously, you can also use it for other things besides gaming. But yeah, that was the primary motivator. So again, I want to justify the setup that I created around my TV because I thought 90% of my personal entertainment on that TV will be gaming. That's literally it. That's my only motivation. So now you see why I wanted a PlayStation 5 Pro. When it comes to the price, $700 US is about $1,300 Australian, especially when you factor in the fact that this is actually a more like an $800 console because I need to have physical disc and physical capability. So it's about 1350 or something Australian by the time you're said and done. Um, that's fine. It's fine. It's not a price that I can just wake up one day and be like, "Ooh, I have $1,500 burning a hole in my pocket. Let's flush down 1,300 of them on this PlayStation 5 Pro." No, but I can save up for it. Like it's okay. It's okay to save up. Shit. If I wanted, I can save up for 6 months for it, and I will get there. 1,300 divided by six. It's not too bad. If I wanted, I could save up for an entire year, $100 a month or so. It's not so bad, after that. But the point is that I'm happy that this thing exists because now I will have something to justify the stuff that I have. Now, again, when it comes to price, that is a very personal thing. I can trade in, me personally, I can trade my PlayStation 5. I can sell something else that I own but I don't use very much. Or I could keep the PlayStation and then just pay for it outright. It is what it is. But I will be getting this, piece of kit because that's exactly what I've always wanted from this generation of gaming. Another thing, I want a game in luxury, and I think, like I say that in a big way and not a small way. We're gonna get into the discussion a little bit later when we talk about the community reaction. Um, but I feel like a lot of people they want poverty gaming. Like, and I don't get it because gaming is a luxury. Just by the mere fact that it is a hobby, it's not an essential thing that you need for survival, right? It is not something that you do because you will go extinct without it. So for me, if I'm going to get into any hobby, I don't want to do the poverty level version of it. Like, I remember when I first got into table tennis, they will lend you, for $5 or whatever. You go to the place and then they give you like a little bullshit racket that is basically just like a flat piece of wood that they, they just cut up in the back, and then you just hit it, and it is what it is. And when you're just starting, you're like, yeah, this is okay, but then you get into the hobby and you start playing and you're like, oh, this is actually how I'm supposed to hit. You start moving your hips and everything. You start getting a little bit of coaching, whether it's from the friends or the people you're playing against, and you're like, oh, I'm enjoying this thing. Then it's like, okay, let me upgrade from, the poverty level bat that I've got now. Let me get something just a little bit nice. You get that thing and it's like, oh, what a huge jump, what a performance. Oh, okay. Actually, it turns out that I can do this now. Okay, cool, you learn. But by the time you are like 10, 15 years, because that's basically me, right? Like I started my first console that I got at the age of 10. So right now I am what, 22 years into gaming. Um, you're not supposed to be at the $50 bat anymore. Like, if you were playing table tennis for 22 years, you should have something nice. You should have nice things by now. You should have nice equipment by now. I'm not saying that you need nice equipment in order to enjoy yourself. I'm just saying if you're that invested that you've been doing continuously for 22 years, you should have something good. So I don't want to do poverty level gaming. I don't understand this broadcast attitude from people that are like lifelong gamers. Like, why do you want to shortchange yourself when it comes to enjoying a hobby that you chose? A hobby that you supposedly participate in pretty much day in, day out. If you're on Twitter talking about games, if you're playing games, if you're posting your screenshots, like, I understand the people that have the 4090s. I do. Just because I don't see the value in it doesn't mean that I cannot see how someone else might value it. Like, I understand the people that have like the all out PCs, with like the liquid cooling, custom loops and everything like that, because they live and breathe not just gaming stuff but also video editing or streaming or whatever it is that they enjoy, because it's like they are in it, man. They live this thing, they're doing it for 5 plus years, or they envisage themselves like doing it for like the next 15 plus years until they die or whatever. So it's like, yeah, invest in it, enjoy your hobby. Why can't we enjoy our hobbies? Enjoy it, like, do it at a high level, do it well, like, do it in a way that a person that is just getting into the hobby might not want to do it. Because if I have, a $200 table tennis racket and it's your first day, I'm not expecting you to go and drop $200 on a table tennis bat because you don't even know if you like it yet. So it's like, yeah, you start with the bullshit rental one that they give you, and then you see if you actually like the sport, if you like the sport, if you like the place, if you like the people that you're playing with, if you like the schedule, if it fits into your life and it fits into your lifestyle. Then after that, you start moving your way up. We're not supposed to be the same. A brand new gamer isn't supposed to be interested in a PlayStation 5 Pro. It is for the enthusiasts. That's what it is. Just like if you started watch collecting, I don't expect you to start a watch collection with like a $100,000 Patek Philippe. No, no one expects that of you. You start yourself with like a nice Casio watch, $80. Oh, that's nice. It's good. Then maybe you move to a Psycho. That's nice. It's good. Then you keep moving your way up until one day suddenly you are the person who has a watch that costs as much as most people's cars. And that's okay. That's perfectly fine. And you know what? The company that makes that watch, it isn't greedy. It isn't evil. It isn't anti-consumer. It isn't abusive. It's simply a company that has a product that it believes is worth a certain amount. And then you as an individual, you either agree or you disagree with that amount, and then you just work around those realities. That's it. Okay, so those are my thoughts on the price. PlayStation 5 Pro, it is an expensive piece of kit, but it is exactly for someone like me. It is for the enthusiast level crowd. It is for a person like myself that knows that once I have this thing, I'm going to play it every single week. I'm going to put in a lot of hours into it. I play something like 800 hours per year on my PlayStation 5 as it is right now. I'm not going to play any more on my PlayStation 5 Pro. In fact, I should probably play a little bit less. I have other things in my life that I want to invest in. But still, I'm going to easily be over $500 plus per year. I'm going to keep it for probably the next 5 years or so. So for me, the math just makes sense. That's my personal value system. Has nothing to do with yours. Again, I'm not trying to convince you. The last thing I want to hear in the comments is someone thinks that, oh, I'm trying to like talk them into this purchase. Please, I don't work for Sony. And if I did, then I would worry about it. Okay, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the community's reaction. Because, I mean, first of all, it was always going to be something that came as a shock to people. And I've got to say this, I don't understand why. And in fact, I'm going to be a little bit harsh, okay? Allow me to be a little bit frank with you. I think you're kind of an idiot if you ever thought that this thing was going to have a 5 in front of it. I saw people say that it was going to come at $599. I don't care which version you were talking about. I don't care whether you're talking digital or physical. You're an idiot if you thought that. How would you think that knowing that the current PlayStation 5 as is, instead of going down, is going up in price. Right now it's at 550, isn't it? Like, in which reality are you living in? Like, I'm sorry, you're dumb. It's just dumb. Like, can we just say it's dumb? Can we just not sugarcoat it? It was dumb to think that this was going to come in with a five in front of it. Some people were even saying it will be $500. Like, are you stupid? You have to be dumb. How is the current PlayStation 5 more expensive? And some idiots were saying that, oh, the current PlayStation 5 will be 350. In what world are you living in? People literally call Sony a greedy company already, a notion that I disagree with. But the point is, you know that Sony is not a company that is just going to be like, I'm your friend, mate. You can have it now for $200 off. Like, another point that I want to talk about is all of the people who are saying that somehow, because Xbox is far less of a competition, this is why Sony feels like, yeah, they've got the brass balls now, they can get away with these prices. You're also dumb, because Xbox hasn't been competition in like the last 10 years. And it hasn't stopped Sony from doing anything that they want. People say that the PlayStation VR 2 at 550 was way too expensive. And Sony did it anyway. Xbox was more competition back then. It didn't stop them. You know, people say that the Portal shouldn't be $200. They did it anyway. Best selling accessory of the year. People say that the PlayStation DualSense Edge was way too expensive. Still one of the best selling controllers. Like, again, it has nothing to do with that. It simply has to do with the fact that they believe they can charge the market these prices and that the market will bear it. And so far, they've been correct. Okay? Now, again, you can take a look at the PlayStation VR 2 and you can make the argument that that hasn't been as successful as the other accessories. And you know what? I fully agree with you. Because at a certain point, enough people are going to say, hey, you know what? I'm not interested. But the PlayStation VR 2 is not overpriced. The reason that people aren't buying it is because it's a niche product. It, like, you could make the PlayStation VR 2 $250. And yes, you would lower the barrier of entry for more people, but I still won't be interested in it. And most other people that understand it still won't be interested in it because at the end of the day, it's a VR experience. Some people don't want to play VR. I didn't invest in my sound system and my thing and my dad so that I could play VR games. I'm sorry, it's not there yet for me. I look at it, I think about wearing a mask on my face and everything, and you know what? If the price was $50, I guess I would try it for the novelty, but that's only because I know that I can get rid of it at the same price that I bought it as without losing anything. So it would just be like, oh, okay, this is fun. Let me put it on the heads of some people. Oh, wow, you came over. Yay, let me show you this VR thing. Oh, isn't it amazing? Ha ha ha. And then I just get rid of it. Because again, I don't want a game in VR. I'm not interested. So I think that's price is a reason why the PlayStation VR 2 hasn't sold as many units as it does, but a far bigger reason is that it's just a niche product. Okay, let's move forward. The community's reaction has been exactly what you would expect, which is to say predictable, but somehow still disappointing. Because a lot of people are pocket watching other people. Listen, if you have decided as an individual not to pay for this, absolutely, that's fine. That's your prerogative. Bro, I support you. I stand behind you. I respect your decision. I endorse your decision. Go ahead. Wonderful. But the amount of people that are trying to stop others from from spending their that's crazy. How are you going to tell me how to spend my money? That's crazy. Do you go to work with me? Are you in the car with me? Do you know what I do or what I sacrifice? And how are you going to tell that to other people? Especially people that are wealthy. Like, I'm sorry. Just, I can't. That's one thing I don't understand. Because, you know, they always take what is it? The Good Samaritan, like, approach of like, hey, I'm not watching out for my money. I got it. I could pay for the PlayStation 5 Pro, but I'm thinking about little Timmy. What's little Timmy gonna do? What about the PlayStation 6? You know, I've had some dumbass idiots say, what about the PlayStation 6? Is it gonna be the same price? No, bro, no. I just do we even have to explain this? But just in case we have to explain it for the idiots in the room, okay. The place, you know what? Let's take an easy kind of universal example. The iPhone has a Pro Max model. That Pro Max model is something close to like $1,000 to start, and then by the time you give it storage of any kind of capacity that is real, you can easily push into the 1500 plus to have your iPhone, 6 Pro Max or your iPhone 16 Pro Max. But the next iPhone, the base model, is still going to be like half that price because that's the one that's meant to appeal to the wide market. Market segmentation within a product line means that there's a product that is trying to appeal to as many people as possible. There's a product that is kind of like the in between one, and then there's a product that's like for the people who are true enthusiasts, or they just have the money to burn, or they value it that much, whatever it is. I'm not trying to pass a judgment on that. And so they go for the highest tier. But just the fact that they have a highest tier doesn't mean that it now sets like the floor for the next generation of devices where even the base level will have to start at that price. So using that same logic, right? The PlayStation 5 Pro does not set the floor for the PlayStation 6. There. That's it. We just move along. Okay, so as I was saying, it is disingenuous, of course, when people say, "Oh, I'm just looking out for little Timmy." But it is funny when little Timmy is actually wealthy as fuck and they are still mad at little Timmy. Like, I'm just like, boy, how are you going to a person like goes in a garage who is a person that has like 48 cars or something, and you're telling him, a multi-millionaire, that he's not allowed to spend his own money on this thing? I don't get it. And by the way, it's not a PlayStation 5 Pro thing. It's not a $700 thing. They did this to him at $200. Shit, they did it to me at $200. But I guess at least I don't have the decency to be a multi-millionaire. But it's like, why are you going to a multi-millionaire and telling him how to spend their money? Like, that makes so little sense. Like, I'm so, it's just, it's unbelievable, because then what's your excuse? Like, what is your excuse when a person literally has more wealth right now than you probably see in your lifetime? And you're like, would you go to Bill Gates and tell him, like, don't spend money on the PlayStation 5 Pro? Like, that's bonkers. I mean, listen, Bill Gates shouldn't buy a PlayStation 5 Pro at all because he's still kind of like attached to Microsoft. That would just be a bad news cycle. But you get what I mean? Like, the Warren Buffett, like, people that have huge, extreme amount of wealth, they just prove how disingenuous all of these people are. Because at the end of the day, you're just angry at the world for supporting something that you don't support. There are people that buy Hermes bags. You guys ever heard about Hermes bags? This is crazy, right? You have a bag, okay? So it's a company. They make fashion stuff, right? Whatever. You can, you have to get in line, right? No, hold on. First, it's a bit like Ferrari, in that if you want to have some of the highest end Hermes bags, okay, for whatever reason, you want to have the highest end Hermes bags, and they're like $30,000 or something. Okay, cool. Whatever. Okay, cool. We don't judge you. But first, you have to develop a relationship with the brand. And the way you develop a relationship with something like a brand is by buying a lot of their products. So first you have to buy a lot of the products and get to know the sales reps through your purchases. And then and only then are you going to get a chance to put a bid on the MS bag. And here's the thing. When you get your allocation, they will make a bag. Like, get this, yeah, you pay like $30,000 or something ridiculous. They make a bag. You don't choose the color. You don't choose the style. Maybe you choose the style, but you don't even choose what color it is. And then they just send it to you and you just accept it. Like, that's it. Now, if you do this a few times, eventually you get to actually like pick the bag that you want, but you are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars for that privilege. That is and people do that. So it's crazy that you will find someone like that and then you'll be like, Yeah, why would you pay for a PlayStation 5 Pro though? At the end of the day, you're just mad. You're mad at the people that can pay for MS bags. Like I will never pay for these bags, okay? But you know what? My sister would. She literally told me, she was like, yeah, if I had the money, I'd get this bag. And you know what? I'm okay with it. Just because I don't see the value doesn't mean I'm gonna go to my sister that hey, you should never spend money on it. Like no, like it's her life. If she ever becomes, if she's ever fortunate enough, she works hard, she puts in the work, she gets that amount of money where it is a it is not a ruinous financial decision for her. Of course, I'm going to support her. I'll be proud. I'll take photos of her MS bags. I'll put them on my Instagram. I'm a photographer, so it'll be great for my profile. But the point is, people have different value systems, but man, the entire community reaction has been pocket watching others, including people who are clearly wealthy, people whose wealth, like, it's like, bro, like this, you don't even have to ask, like clearly the person can afford it, but they use the excuse of, yeah, we're just looking out for the little guy. Blah, it's funny. Anyways, what I've done is I have put together a selection, a little bit of a what do we call it, a tasting plate for you of what the community reaction has been or what has been the most entertaining to me. And now this part, we're just going to go, we're going to talk, we're going to have fun, okay, and we're just going to talk about some of the community reaction, okay. That's all we're going to do. We're just going to have fun with the community, because the thing about the reason that I do this thing is that I'm not really interested in convincing anyone, and I'm not interested in what the companies are doing or the business is doing. You don't hear me try to justify the price about the Pro. Oh, so they had to put this in. Look at the price of silicon, and if you look at inflation, I don't give a fuck, bro. Like I don't care about that. What I care about is the community reaction. That's the thing that actually like fascinates me. That's the thing that I actually just like love to experience. It's how other people are reacting to this news. And Twitter is just, I mean, it is a cesspool, but in its in its what is it? In its free agency, the thing that makes it a cesspool is the fact that people can just say whatever is on their mind, but then at the same time it's almost like you get to see the real them in a way that if you were in front of them in real life, they will never show. Like if you're in front of these people in real life, they will never tell you to your face, oh, don't buy this thing. They never will, because they will be embarrassed, because they will understand that by them saying this very insecure thing about how you should spend your money, they are really just saying like, hey, I I don't have that money. That's literally what they're saying. They're literally saying that I don't have the money, or I don't have the mindset to value this thing as much as you do. So I feel insecure about it. Therefore, I am pulling that on you and telling you not to do it. It's weird. It's literally the person who is like, yeah, there should be no person should pay for first class tickets because I can only be in economy, or because I choose to not spend the money that I do have. I could pay for a better ticket, but I refuse to, so no one else should. Like it's just an embarrassing line of thinking, and they will never admit that in front of you. But on Twitter, they do. So let's go ahead and and just again, this is just a small sample, because if I was going to gather everything, we will be here for 3 hours. It will get really boring after a while, and I just wouldn't find it entertaining. You wouldn't find it entertaining. Before we go to the community reaction, though, let's go ahead and listen to a few days. I think this is like a day old Emmanuel. At the point that was made, because the funniest community reaction has been uh, from the PC, the supposedly PC gamers. And I'm gonna say supposedly because you guys know I've been extremely harsh on PC gamers, right? But this, it doesn't smell like PC gamer talk to me. It smells like poverty mindset broke ass people. And I mean, again, I mean the person is broke. I don't mean the wallet is broke. I mean their mentality is broke. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about your bank account. Most of you listening have a higher bank account than me. Well done. You're fortunate. I hope one day I can surpass you many, many times. It's great. Fantastic. I'm talking about the mentality, the people with the poverty gamer mindset. That's what it smells like to me. This doesn't smell of PC gamer. It smells of something more rotten, something even more destructive to gaming. Okay, so let's go ahead and let me kind of switch this up because before I forget, I don't have five monitors anymore around me, so I can't monitor everything at once. Okay, so let's take a look. See, so let's listen again to a few days old manual. So I just wanted to make this very quick video. The PlayStation 5 Pro was announced, right? And everybody's got their feelings about the price tag, whatever. Let's speed this up. All cool with me. If you don't want to pay $700 for it, I understand. It's no problem. I'm not here to convince you otherwise. What I want to talk about is the PC power speaker people. Here's the thing. Very simply, if you believe, you genuinely, in your heart of hearts, you believe that you can make a PC that is equivalent to the PlayStation 5 Pro or the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X or whatever for $700 or less, or just around $700, like 850, whatever, right? We'll give you that leeway, okay? Just make sure that you build it, okay? And then you keep it for about 8 years, because all of these consoles, they can be kept for like 10 years, right? Because if you take a look at cross generation, if you had gotten a PlayStation 4, you could have kept it all the way to like 2024 without really missing out on too many games, right? If you had got the PlayStation 4 Pro, you could have done the same thing, and the PlayStation 4 Pro, I think, was released in 2016, so that's an 8-year time gap. Okay, so if the console is held to an 8-year standard, you should hold the PC, your PC, the one that you're, not the PC that you actually have, the PC that you recommend for people to get. That PC that is like 800 or something with a micro ATX and a $50 PSU, yeah, you keep that one for 8 years, and it will be your only gaming PC. In fact, it will be the only way you game. Okay, because let's keep it the same. A person who gets a PlayStation 5 Pro, that can be the only gaming device for an entire generation for the next 10 years. So let's keep it to the same standard. You build that piece of shit PC, and then you keep it as the only way that you game for the next 10 years, and then I believe. And that there is the most pertinent point that I've learned in recent weeks, is that a lot of these I'm still on screen. A lot of these PC people, they will sell you on a wonderful magical system that they go and pick out of the dustbin of the internet store or whatever. And they will tell you, oh, look, I can beat the price, I can beat the performance of a PS5 for, $480. I can beat the PlayStation 5 Pro for like $650 or whatever. And then they would never themselves play that as the only way of playing. If you buy a PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 5 Pro or even an Xbox Series X, even an Xbox Series S, you can spend your entire generation, okay? Which I think this generation is going to be stretched out to at least 10 years, but let's just go with the standard kind of 8-year cycle that we've seen in recent generations. You can stay for an Xbox Series S for 8 years, and that can be your only gaming platform. You can enjoy yourself through that medium, and then that will be it. You can do the same with PlayStation 5, PlayStation 5 Pro, and Xbox Series X. That can be your only thing. But a lot of these, poverty brokies, okay, broke ass people, they are going, actually, I'm going to call them bops. Broke ass people. No, is that baps? That doesn't sound as good. These broke ass people, they are going to come here and give you this mythical price list and are going to tell you that, hey, look at the PC power speaker build that I did. But then they will never accept that for themselves. That will be the only PC and the only gaming. You can't use console, you can't use Switch, you can't use a Steam Deck, just that piece of shit PC you just put in front of people, because it's almost like, oh, here is a PC for thee, but not for me. Like, I don't like that. I don't like the disingenuous of that. If you yourself wouldn't use what you're recommending for as long as you are basically recommending for, or you're comparing it against a product that is meant to stay relevant for 8 years, then shut the fuck up. Shut up. So that's basically it. So I put out that tweet. I told them to practice what they preach. And you know what? Shout out to Dog Dark, man. Like I say in this tweet, Dog Dark is an actual PC gamer who plays on his actual dog shit PC, just like he recommends. So you know what? Doc, I respect you, man. You got your $900 crappy ass Walmart PC and you actually play on it. That's respect right there. Because when you put it up against the PlayStation 5 Pro, whether it is better or worse, whether it is higher or lower, whether it is louder or quieter, it doesn't matter, because you actually walk the walk. You take that dog shit PC and you play it every day, man. Mad respect, boy. Mad. Shout out to you. Okay, and you know what? I'll also say this. Shout out to the real PC master race. Because I'm telling you, man, this isn't PC gamers, man. I don't believe it. This isn't PC, not true PC gamers. These are grifters. These are people online looking for clicks. They're looking for validation. These are broke ass people. Because real PC master race, they will never be caught dead in micro ATX board. That's disgusting. You play on the oh my god, micro ATX. Like I know, okay, real PC master race, they'll be like, look, I have a micro ATX for my TV setup. But you hear what they say there for my TV setup? You know what they say? They're like, yeah, I accepted, deal with this piece of shit for I'm just in front of the TV. But in front of the actual gaming setup, they got themselves like a full ATX. Some of them even got an eATX board. And yes, I know what all these things are because I build PCs. It's not a hard thing. Anyways, the point is, this shout out to PC Master Race, man. I actually have a lot of respect, and I have a lot of respect for PC gamers. This particular, kind of like grifter trend that they have right now going on Twitter has actually improved my ranking of actual PC gamers that are like, yeah, fuck no, that is not. I've seen so many PC gamers be like, yeah, this list is absolute bullshit. So, in any case, let me take a drink of water here, and let me show you what a broadcast person looks like. And again, I'm not talking about his finances. I'm talking about his mentality. Okay, I've got the thing here. Okay, so here I made this tweet here. Same tweet as we just saw before. And here is Moby. Okay. Okay, so over here he says that given it is $1,300 Australian dollars plus, which is true. For a console with all of the shit that they remove back in, here is a pre-build that they can buy. So this guy's basically doing what these guys are doing, except he actually had the decency to go and get a pre-built PC, and so he posted it over here. I'm not sure how well you guys can read it, but at the beginning you're like, this PC looks okay, it is still a micro ATX PC, so of course it's dog shit. But it's got a Ryzen 5, it's got a motherboard, again, a B series motherboard, disgusting, whatever, it's got 16 gigs of RAM, at least, that's okay. It's got only 1 TB SSD. It's funny because I point out that it has an amazing response to it, and, it's fine. It's one of these PCs that if a actual PC gamer had already built an actual PC rig, and then he just wanted something for his living room setup, for the times where he just doesn't want to deal with all of the, the screens and everything, or the office chair. He's just like, oh, I just want to relax a little bit more, play some Witcher 3, whatever. This is kind of thing that they will consider getting. And this came at $1388, right? No problem, right? You're thinking to yourself, oh, that seems like a comparable PC. Look at that. He used a discount code that gave him $500 off. This is an $1,800 PC. And you use a discount code to bring it down to like $1,400, and then you want to be like, yeah, see, I can find a PC for the same price. It's like, nope. Are you serious? So just because you happen to find it on sale, now you're like, ooh, look, like, oh man, do you see the disingenuousness? Like, do you see how non-genuine that is? Is that, bro? That can't just be me. You guys know what I'm talking about. And then again, he finds yet another PC, which is, again, as you can see, a $1,700 PC, and he uses another discount code, and he's like, yeah, look at all of these prices. I'm like, bro, stop lying. What is this? Why do you need to do this? Why do you need to go like? That would be okay. Listen, this is the exact equivalent of a person being like, oh yeah, like a 4090. Yeah, I found a pre-built for 4090 for like $1,200, and then you realize that he's got like $2,800 worth of like gift cards for that store. It's like, bro, come on. Yes, you can find amazing deals. If you shop around, you can always find amazing deals. It's great. But that is not in the spirit of the conversation when you're saying that, hey, for this same amount of money can get you this. Oh my goodness. Okay. So anyways, after this, we kind of got into the exchange. I congratulated him for being part of Ozbargain. If you're in Australia, you should know about Ozbargain. If you are in Australia and you don't know about Ozbargain, go on Ozbargain. That is OZ Bargain. You'll love it. Okay. And then I told him that it's disingenuous, and then over here he gives me yet again another build. But this one, no discount code, but now it's $1,500. So now you're like, wait a second. So before it was a $1,900 PC that you had used a discount code, which again I applaud your bargain hunting to break it down to basically $1,400. But now that you don't want to use a cheat code because you admit it is a cheat code, now you are barely scraping by and it is 1522. And when I look at that list, some things are looking suspicious in it, you know. So I told him like, hey, the PlayStation 5 Pro has a 2 TB SSD. You are not talking about the operating system. Think about that. Hey, by the way, remember that, yeah? He is missing the operating system. He's missing the Windows key, right? And I know people, you can go to like windowskeys.com or tech deals or whatever. I know you can get a Windows key for cheaper than Microsoft advertises. I've built PCs. You're not telling me anything new. But maybe he doesn't know or whatever. But again, just remember that he's not including the price of the operating system. Okay? You're not including the keyboard and mouse. You're not including the HDMI cable. You know? And I'm like, by this point, you're already more than PlayStation 5 Pro without these things. And let's face it, this piece of shit PC he just built isn't going to break the PS5 Pro. Now, again, here he comes. Okay? He's like, oh, it's not really an inferior product. The 2 TB SSD is a cheap add-on later on. No, you don't get to have a cheap add-on later on. You literally came, you were trying to put your balls on the table and be like, yeah, for this amount of money, I can build something better. Why are you cheapening out? Why are you looking for like an escape key now? Now you're like, oh, well, okay, I guess I can add that later. No, add it now so that we can see the real cost. I hate these non-PC people. They're not even people. This is a broadcast person. Hey, listen, I know you must be Australian because you use Volkswagen. Shout out, salute, but you're a broadcast bitch. I'm sorry, man. Like, I'm sorry. What the fuck is this? What do you mean you can add the 2 TB SSD? Why don't you add it now? Why don't you add it now? Because you don't want it to push up that price because you're trying to create this false dichotomy saying that, hey, oh, it's going to be close to 1,300 Australian dollars when it isn't, when you know you're going to be pushing all the way back to that original PC that was about $1,900. You know that without discount code, it should cost about $1,900. You know, and at $1,900, I'm not saying that people shouldn't choose to go to PC instead. What I'm saying is it's not $1,300. Let's not do, and again, that particular build, that particular configuration is going nowhere near the performance of the PlayStation 5 Pro. Anyway, you're going to need a real PC in order to touch a PlayStation 5 Pro, and that real PC is going to start around 2,500 Australian dollars. But again, these people, they don't want to admit it, so they try to like it, honestly, they're trying to just, what is it? You know, the thing that pisses me off is that they are sabotaging people who don't know any better and I'm making the decision for themselves. Like, especially the person that actually is, like, the person who is actually a little bit cash strapped. So now they're thinking to themselves, like, wait, I actually do want to maximize my budget. Like, a person that is like, man, a PlayStation 5 Pro, I've been waiting for it. I've been saving up for it. I didn't buy the PlayStation 5. So now it's my time to jump in. And I guess I could push it. But I'm not sure, man. Like, a lot of people online that's saying that, hey, I could just get a better PC instead. And I see all of these PC builds and everything like that. Okay, I guess I get that PC then. And so they will go to the PC part speaker, or they will go to whatever store that these people have gotten, you know, new egg or whatever, right? They've gotten this PC together. They'll buy all the parts. They'll learn to put it together. And then they will have a horrible fucking awful experience with that piece of shit PC. And those are the people that you've robbed the most. That's the thing. It's the people that don't know any better that you're actually going to fool, and they are actually going to suffer for it. And oftentimes, they are the ones that actually can't afford to just flush $1,300 on something they don't want. I'm going to need more water. We have so much to talk about. Okay. Now, I told him, nah, it's meant to be a like-for-life comparison. You can't upgrade it later either, and you can't chip out on the keyboard and mouse, because that's the other thing these broke-ass bitches will do. They will tell you, oh yeah, you just get yourself like a wired $10, $5 Logitech keyboard from Officeworks. It's like, nah, bro. No, you don't get yourself a basic bitch ass little keyboard and mouse, and like the mouse with like the roller wheel. Like, Do you guys remember the mice with like the roller wheels and everything, like no laser and everything? They're like, yeah, you just get yourself some of those and you'll be fine. No, no, because what? Guess what? Whether it's an Xbox controller or a DualSense, these are premium accessories, bro. You don't get your chip out on your keyboard and mouse. You get to get yourself a good one. You have to get yourself a good one. And they don't want to include it because the console comes with all of that. They don't even want to include the HDMI cable. This guy literally told me that the HDMI cable is going to come with the monitor. Now, again, it's been a long time since I bought my monitors, right? But I got myself Dell monitors. Again, I don't cheap out on things that come into my life. They were like $500 each. I think they were even on sale at $500. These monitors, so they were like $700 monitors at the time. I don't think they came with HDMI cables, bro. In fact, I'm pretty sure. They didn't. Again, don't lambast me. Don't be mad. Don't quote me. If they actually did, it's been many years. I've kept these things for years. They're still 1080p monitors. That's how old they are. But I guess new ones. I guess new monitors. I understand that a new monitor could come HDMI cable, but I'm still gonna put a doubt and suspicion on that one because I don't know. That sounds very freaking convenient. And this particular guy, from anyone else, I would believe it, but from this guy, I'm not believing it. Okay, then he's like, okay, with how quickly they get stick drift, bro. I've had controllers for 4 years that haven't gotten stick drift. Like, yes, can it happen? Absolutely. Just like any other piece of technology can fail. But they're not cheap controllers. Okay? So he says, like, with how quickly they get stick drift, might as well be cheaply made. Oh, listen to this one. Operating system Windows 11 is free. You're just stuck with the watermark in the bottom left corner of the screen. This guy literally said, hey, download Windows, but don't validate it in order to give you this PC. Oh my God. That was the moment I was like, oh, you're a broke ass bitch. I thought I was talking to someone who like actually came with like good intent. When he first came out with that PC, I was like, oh, okay, I get it, right? Like the discount code is a cheat code, but it's a cheat code that you're allowed to use if this was a real life scenario. If you're like, hey, I'm gonna make my daughters like maximize how far they can go. Like, yeah, it is a cheat code, but it is a cheat code you can use. So I was like, oh, like he's not coming with like bad intentions. But when the guy said the operating system is free, so long as you don't validate it and you just deal with that watermark in the bottom left. Oh my God. Is it even the bottom left or is it the bottom right? Because I've never, I just, do you know what I mean by poverty mindset? How do you, wow. You can get Windows keys for like $15 legally and everything, right? Maybe 30 Australian dollars. But this guy wouldn't even go there because that would push up the price. Like he is so intent on winning this fake narrative that he's like, yeah, don't validate Windows. That is insane. That's insane. That's poverty mindset, bro. Like I just, oh my God. Those are the limits that are willing to push past in order to just choke out this PlayStation 5 Pro. It has them shaking in the boot so hard that they're literally like, yeah, pirate. I'm sorry, that's piracy. If you're going to, like, the entire point of you getting the Windows 11 to run is just to get started. You're supposed to validate it. After that, it's theft. If you use it for like a year or more on an invalid Windows key, you just, oh my God. Wow. Now that's crazy. That did me in. That did me in, bro. Okay? And then he's like, Pro already got 30 frames per second games again. Mostly all Unreal Engine 5. So extra $250 for what? Boy, we haven't even seen this thing. Can we at least wait? Can we at least wait until the console is here and then denigrate it and then tell it that, hey, you didn't do shit? Wow. So just say, bruh, don't be poor. And then here we are. he gives me yet another PC build. And look over here. Hold on, hold on. See, see. Oh my goodness, this is poetic. See how disingenuous this person is. So this is his PC. Do you see how he was recommending all of those bullshit parts and all of these dustbin PCs and all of these fairly decent PCs that he had to like bring down? But then as soon as you say don't be broke or don't be poor, now he wants to bring out his configuration. Exactly the point of the video. You are recommending all of these things to people that don't know any better. But for you, look at the spec sheet that he pulls out. RX 7900 Red Devil, XTX R7 7800X 3D, 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM, Lexa 4TB SSD, Samsung 980 Pro 1TB SSD, Asus blah blah blah. It's a Strix motherboard, so nice. Okay. Corsair 5000D airflow, Corsair RM 1000 watts power supply. The main screen is an LG Ultra Gear. The second screen is a blah 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 blah. That's his PC. Oh man, you can't make this shit up. I didn't even read this tweet before getting onto this thing, man. Oh my god. So for everyone else, okay, the PC for thee, you can get the bullshit dustbin PC, barely scraped together parts. But the PC for me, I am going to get myself a premium rig. I can't. Wow. Okay. Anyways, that my friend, I'm gonna bookmark this. I am going to bookmark this. This is an amazing thread. I didn't even know it was going to end up so beautifully because the time I last read it, he hadn't made that reply yet. Okay, over here, I think this one is this my, oh, that's just my profile. Okay, a few other things, right? I saw this post over here, okay, by Imran Khan or whatever. And he basically said, I am the exact audience for this thing and think this price point is insane. And I said, I quoted it and I was like, oh, okay. Oh, we're just complaining. Okay, I am the exact audience for this thing. This year is a Porsche Taycan Series 2. I am the exact audience for it. I am in my 30s, right? I do not have any partners or whatever. I don't drive, beyond 500 kilometers, in one trip. I would love an electric car. I would love a Porsche and everything. But look at the price point, oops, here we go. Look at the price point. Oh my God, 447,000. But hey, we're just complaining about shit that's expensive now. So, okay, I'll just complain about it, Just that is another thing about broadcast people. That again, that's a broadcast. Again, I'm not calling Imran Khan broke, but I'm saying the mindset is broke. The mindset is poverty minded. The mindset is scarcity minded. Because if you are the audience for it and you're willing for it, then get it. If you're not willing to do it, then leave it alone. There is nothing wrong. Like again, this car over here, I would love to get it. I don't have the current capacity for it, but hey, I would love to. Sometime in the future, this will be a wonderful gift to myself. Hey, Emmanuel, you did it, you made it, you can now afford this thing, go ahead and buy it. Fantastic. But again, I am not complaining to people who are getting this car. Nor am I going to like, hey, Porsche, why is your car so expensive? Because it is, bro. Because it is. And if you don't like it, make another decision. Okay. Over here. Now, this kind of leads into the other thing. I probably should have solved this around. But it says over here, here's my tweet. The funniest thing about PlayStation 5 Pro is people proudly declaring how broke they are. The same people showing off high-end PCs. Remember that guy? Cars, watches, and cigars. Bro, even if I couldn't afford it, I'd at least have the decency not to be proud of poverty. Like, goddamn, people, respect yourself. Like, how are you proud of your poverty? What? Like, and I mean this. These people are proud to be poor. I wish, oh my goodness, if I had, no, actually, I don't wish because that would have just made me like too obsessive. But if I had taken every screenshot of a person proudly declaring that they were too broke to afford, and I mean financially broke this time, but also obviously mentally broke. But actually, I mean, like, they literally were proud of the fact that they can't afford the PlayStation. Like, they were proudly declaring it. I'm not saying that they were saying that, hey, I can't afford this out of my price range. I mean, they were proud. Like, you guys, I feel like I'm crazy saying this because you're probably looking at me like, Emmanuel, come on, you're doing too much. What do you mean they're proud of it? I'm telling you, bro, trust me, take my word for it, yeah? I'm sorry, take my word for it. These people were proudly declaring that they can't afford the PlayStation 5 Pro because they don't have the money for it. Bro, why are you proud of your poverty? I'm not even trying to mock you, but I'm like, bro, why are you declaring this like it's a badge of honor? Why are you being weird about it? If you can't afford it or you don't want it, just say that. And it's okay to say this is beyond my price. I just did it with the car. That Porsche that we just saw, beyond my price range. But I'm not proud of it. Like, I'm not like, yeah, I will never be able to afford it. It's just like, what? No, that is not the goal. Oh my god. That is I have never seen that before. I have never seen moments where people are literally proud. And can we just say something here? Can we just admit something? There's a huge difference between a $447,000 Porsche and a $1,300 PlayStation 5 Pro. Like, I know that I'm using it as an example, and it is an extreme example, but if a person was like, yeah, I will never afford a Porsche, that is still kind of like poverty mindset and scarcity mindset. Okay, no problem. But it's not a 13. Like, for me, this is like a person being like, I will never be able to afford avocado and toast. Like, why are you setting yourself short? Like, boy, you will never be able to afford a PlayStation 5 Pro. Why? Why can't you? It's not that much money. And especially if you were in the market for consoles. Because if you're in the market for consoles, really, you're already starting to ball at a $400 price point, right? For the digital PlayStation 5, you know? And you're already looking up to like the Series X, you know? So that's at $500 already. But you can't afford $200 more no matter what you do. That's crazy. I'm sorry, don't watch my channel. Please don't watch my channel. I don't even want anyone with that kind of scarcity mindset around me. Not even through the internet. Don't do it. Don't leave a comment. Just go. Just leave. Please. We don't have time for that. And again, if you're going through a rough situation and you just don't have the money, that is perfectly fine. If you've got other priorities in your life and you don't feel like spending this money on the PlayStation 5, that's perfectly fine. But don't be proud of your poverty. Why? Didn't your mother teach you better? Nah, I cannot. I cannot. I'm sorry. Okay? Dear boy, I'm telling you, man. Jesus Christ. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So BG over here made the tweet. And this tweet here is in response to Blandrew. And I think Blandrew said that something like, oh, the PlayStation 5 Pro is going to destroy gaming. I'm not even going to click on the tweet because I don't even want to follow through the conversation thread. But over here, what I said was, reading the responses, it's evident that you can desire a high-end watch, tennis racket, camera, phone, ski set, camping equipment, car, audio, whatever. But a high-end console gaming experience? Nah, that's not allowed. And which brings me to another point. Back to the whole PC part speaker thing. A lot of people are saying just get a PC. I have a PC. I don't want a PC. If I didn't have a PC, I still wouldn't want a PC. Even if I liked PC, which, you know, according to the start of this video, I apparently I don't. So that was a nice little moment of self-introspection and discovery there. But I don't want to game on PC, bro. I don't want to game on PC. I get it. Oh my God. You know, I listen to podcasts, right? And one of the things that pisses me off the most is when PC gamers pretend that you don't understand the advantages of a PC gaming, like, or what it offers or the benefits of it, or, you know, like, I know the pros and cons, mate. And I don't mean just like I built PCs in the past or I've tried gaming on PC before. I mean, like, everyone knows the pros and cons. Like, if we are listening to these gaming podcasts, We know the pros and cons of PC gaming. We know about the mods. We know about the cheaper price per game. We know about the free online. We know about Steam. We know about Steam reviews. We know about the Steam refund policy. We know about Steam community. We know these things. You don't have to explain PC gaming to us. If we are choosing not to be PC gamers, it's because we are choosing not to be PC gamers. That's it. Just like some of us choose to be, some of us choose not to be Nintendo gamers. We know what Nintendo games have to offer. We know about the Switch. We know about portability. We know about Nintendo's pedigree. We understand those things. We're just choosing not to do that. Some people are choosing not to be PlayStation gamers. If you're choosing not to be a PlayStation gamer right now, you know everything there is to know about the PlayStation gaming lifestyle. You know about the $70 games. You know about the whole nerdy ones on PlayStation Plus. You know about the DualSense. You know about you know it. I don't have to explain to you what gaming on PlayStation 5 is. And yet so many PC gamers, they try to go to someone who is clearly just interested in console and they're like, just get a PC. Like, do you think that's a fucking revelation? Like, do you think you're saying anything new? Do you think that person's gonna be like, never thought of that? I guess I will. Like, no. We all value different things. And the console, and I'm sorry to say this, but a console, man, okay. Me personally, a console is a superior gaming platform than a PC. I like almost any console and almost any PC. Like I just it and also another thing is like with PC gamers, you always have to like validate your PC. You always have to validate your configuration. You always have to like show your spec sheets, and it's like it's exhausting, bro. I have it. I know the advantages. I know what I could get. I choose not to. It is what it is. Just deal with it. Okay. So I'm tired of the whole just get a PC narrative. Okay. Here's another one. Oh, this one was funny. Oh, this one was hilarious. This is a Nintendo fanboy. Oh my god. Nintendo fan, what are you guys doing in this conversation? You guys are on Nintendo. You guys are good. You are good. You literally have it all. You have a console manufacturer that is producing the hardware that you want and you are happy with. Great. You have the games that are legendary and recognized by everyone to be good. Like, great. You are in your own console lane. So yes, technically you have a console, but you have a Nintendo console. Great. You have a legendary brand and IP behind you. Great. Why are you getting down in the muck with PC gamer wannabes and these like broadcast thoughts that are coming out on the internet? Why are you rolling in the mud with them? Like, that's disgusting. Have you noticed, by the way, through this whole tweets that I've been going through, none of them are from Xbox people, because Xbox people somehow are the more reasonable opposition. That is crazy. How are Xbox people the ones that are just like, yeah, that seems high, and then they just move the fuck on? Like honestly, I've seen some snide comments from like Xbox gamers about PlayStation 5 Pro, but most of them are within the realm of just good old banter. They're just like, yeah, that's crazy. Sony's lost their mind, blah blah blah. Oh, Sony PlayStation taking advantage of the consumer again. Like, they're just literally poking fun at it. That is literally it. They have no. How are Xbox players the chill ones? I don't get it. Like, it's some kind of, but Nintendo gamers, they are losing their mind. I don't understand. So here's what this guy said. He's just like, if Nintendo announced Switch 2 tomorrow at $300, back compat with the entire Switch 1 library running just PlayStation 4 Pro graphics, so all third-party ports can run well, the entire console still will be theirs to lose. And then when this guy got a lot of pushback in his comments, okay, you know what he said? He said, "Oh, forget $300. Just any number substantially cheaper than $700." Because people were rightfully pointing out that you are crazy if you think that you can pack a PlayStation 4 Pro level of graphics in a portable platform. And I'm just like obviously. But then instead of just being like, yeah, sorry, that was stupid, he's like, yeah, well, it doesn't have to be $200. It just has to be cheaper than $700. Well, you're kind of an idiot then, aren't you? You know, because then I told him like, bro, that walk back is tremendous, okay? Because basically it now became like, oh, if Nintendo made a substantially more expensive hardware that it justified to their audience, then that is reasonable. Yeah, not shit, not duh. Like, oh my god. And this year is like a reasonable PlayStation, sorry, a reasonable Nintendo fanboy losing his shit. Like that was literally one of the more reasonable takes, as dumb as it is. Oh my god, stay away from this. You don't need. You are Nintendo. You literally don't need to be part of this. Just wait for your Switch 2. Whatever price point it will come at, you will pay it. You will be happy. You will value it, and then Nintendo is going to release amazing award-winning games, legend-selling games. It is what it is. I'm not going to speculate on what the Switch 2 can do because I hate speculation in the first place. But whatever it does do, you don't need to be involved in this conversation. Maybe what you should have done is waited for Nintendo to surprise us, you know, with this amazing, marvelous piece of hardware that somehow also has a marvelously low price. And then only once you have that ammunition, then go after the PlayStation 5 Pro. But this walk back, it was so cringe, so cringe. But anyways, let's go ahead and move forward. Okay. Oh, here's another fun thing. Did you know that the PlayStation 5 Pro supports physical discs if you buy the disc attachment? Yes, you did know because I told you this earlier in the video. So since you did know that, you might be thinking to yourself, or you could have thought to yourself already because you're a smart person, hell, I wonder if I should just buy the disc attachment if I'm interested in that capability. I'll just buy it now. And then when the PlayStation 5 Pro comes out, I will already have it and I won't have to buy it then. Well, it turns out that there's a bunch of smart people like you and they've already bought all of it out. So over here, this was just a notification that this thing was back in stock. A few minutes later, it sold out again. So while everybody is complaining about the price on Twitter, actual smart gamers are going out there and purchasing the thing in preparation for the Pro. So this thing is now sold out pretty much everywhere, including in Australia, I think. I think last time I checked some of the websites over here, we didn't have any stock either. So isn't that funny? And then finally, I think okay, we've got a few more tweets to go through. But you know, all of this kind of overshadowed the reaction that I saw for the iPhone 16. So look over here, the iPhone 16 Pro is at $999, and then the iPhone 16 Pro Max is at $1199 US. It's funny how no one thinks that the iPhone 17 base model is somehow going to be at $1,200 to start, because the Pro Max for this generation is at $1,200 to start. That's crazy, isn't it? Isn't it funny how high-end products are just made for different people? Okay, then what did I bookmark this one? This person out here, no, I didn't even need to go through it. Okay, the final thing I'm going to talk about, because we had a lot of fun, is Astrobot. Okay, Astrobot is a game. I platinumed it. It took me about 20 hours to platinum Astrobot. So it's a fantastic game. I just want to say it's one of the best games of this generation. I made a tweet over here that Astrobot is better than Mario according to me. That also had Nintendo people mad. I don't know why, because I said according to me, like it's my personal preference. And then a lot of people, they threw this tweet back at me. Let me go ahead and open it up. This is one of the tweets, because they all use this something. So this was in June. On the 30th of June, I wrote a tweet that said something. I said, let me try something. Astrobot will be a good game. It won't be the game of the year, nor the generation. It won't kill Mario. It won't revive the platformer genre, nor sell 10 million copies. It will just come out and be a good game. And for some reason, because I now said that Astrobot is better than Mario, according to me, and I told them to argue with their mamas, they want to throw this back at me like somehow those statements are contradictory. So in case you've made it this far, and in case you don't understand how these two statements are not contradictory, let me tell you, Astrobot is to me better than any Mario game ever made. Cool, no problem. That's my preference. That you can't argue with that because there's nothing to argue with. It's personal opinion. Now, this tweet is not in opposition of that because I told you there that Astro will be a good game. That's true. It won't be Game of the Year. I don't think it's going to win Game of the Year this year. It's my personal Game of the Year so far, but I don't think it's going to win Game of the Year. It definitely won't be the game of the generation. Like, shit, there's games from last year that I like better than Astrobot. It will not kill Mario. Why on earth would it kill Mario? Like, the hell? Like, no, just because I think it is better. I personally think it's better. It's a more enjoyable than any Mario game I've ever played, and I played a few. It's not going to kill Mario. Of course, it's not going to kill Mario. And it won't revive the platformer genre. This is a niche genre. It's people are not going to start buying platformers left and right. This thing isn't going to sell 10 million copies. I don't think so. Maybe it might sell 10 million copies after 5 years if we are lucky. But I listen. I will be completely surprised, taken aback, flabbergasted if this thing sells anything near even 5 million copies this year. I know that it came out and made a splash. That was great. It made a bigger splash than I thought it would. It was a better game. It is a better game than I thought it was going to be. But none of these statements are contradictory to what I said. What's your issue? Like, are you dumb? And also, Postard was one of the people that did this first, and then everybody kind of like picked it up from him, which, first of all, I appreciate. But also, like, this is also goes at you. Same entire logic, mate. This has nothing to do with my statement. I said it is better than Mario, according to me. That's my preference. That's my personal opinion. You cannot argue that. This one here is a more global look at how, it's going to lay, I guess, in the history of time. And I think it's going to lay exactly there. It's a good game. It's not Game of the Year. It's not Game of the Generation. It doesn't kill Mario. It doesn't revive the platformer genre, at least not on PlayStation. And it doesn't sell 10 million copies. All of those things can be true at the same time. So that was the final thing that I wanted to say. But this person, by the way, calls me a grifter. What am I grifting? Is grifting possible? Can I do it? Because if I can do it, maybe I can pay for that Porsche that I want. Okay, so go ahead. Oh, and another thing that I don't like about these people, when I ask them, give me the contradiction, they literally never say anything. Like, why don't you say something? Like, what is the contradiction that you think I have? Okay, so over here, they talk about a whole bunch of things. But guys, listen, okay, we've had our fun. We have had our fun here, okay? So, let's see. What do I want to do? I want to come here. PlayStation 5 Pro looks to be a very exciting piece of kit, right? I am excited to see what it does. A few more things I will say about it. Number one, Sony was strategic in this reveal. It was a 9-minute technical presentation, blah, blah, blah. But really, it was all about the final slide. Okay, the final PowerPoint slide was a price tag. And I think they put it there so that people would just have the sticker shock. Okay, they knew people were going to have a strong negative reaction to this. It would have been stupid of them to give you a presentation showing you brand new games, including first-party Sony games, running on the PlayStation 5 Pro like people say that they want, and then give you that sticker shock at the end, because the only thing you will care about is the sticker shock. This is actually very, very incredibly smart of them. Give them the sticker shock, let them run around for a week or two, exhaust themselves out, and then once they are like ready to come back to the table, then you present them with what you have to offer. This is like marketing 101. It's good business sense. Like, it's just, I understand why they did what they did. So if people are like, oh my God, why didn't they give me more games to show? That's exactly that. You needed to have the sticker shot first. You needed to take your medicine. And then you needed to get angry and throw your tantrum. And then when you're done doing all of that, when you've exhausted yourself out, when the hate train has gone as far as it can go, and you're willing to come back and listen again, then they're going to show your presentation. At least I think that they should. And I don't see how they wouldn't. So I think we're going to get a state of play, or a showcase, a presentation, a blah, 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 or a blah, blah, blah. But that time, they're going to actually focus on games, including new games to tempt you, to bring you back to the table, after having pissed you off with the price tag. So that's what I think this presentation was about. It was all about the medicine, the syringe you don't like, get the bad part out of the way so that later on we can just continue with a good conversation. So that's what I think it was. Anything else that I have to say about the PlayStation 5 Pro? It's optional. I think like that's the thing that people need. They like need to be caressed and you know and held and you know just like hugged so that people be like, hey, it's optional. You don't have to get this thing. So whether you are the most involved PlayStation gamer, whether you spend 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 hours on your console every year, you don't have to get this. If this doesn't make sense for you, whether that's financially or just from a principle standpoint, because I've had a lot of people be like, yeah, as a principle, I refuse to pay for this. I refuse to support this. And you know what? I fully respect the fact that if you think that there is something that violates a principle of yours, your money shouldn't be encouraging this thing to exist. So I fully support that. You know, I think that is a good reason to not pay for this thing. Um, it's also people's prerogative if they want to take the opposite route to you know if they want to pay for this thing for whatever reason, whether you think that they are grifting, whether you think that they are just a corporate bootlicker, whether you think that they are destroying the industry or you know setting up the world for failure or going to close, you know, I don't know, aliens to visit us and enslave us. It doesn't matter. They still have the right to spend their own money the way that they choose, you know, so it is what it is. um this has been fun. This has been a fun time to see how people react because I feel that if I wasn't what I was, I would love to do sociology. Like sociology, therapy, and psychology are just things where I'm like, I'm fascinated by how people think. And I think that this. Can I just say also one more thing? I have a few hobbies, right? I have a few communities that I've been a part of at different points in my life, which is a fortunate thing. I appreciate the fact that you know I was blessed enough that I've been able to do that, and I have a mindset where if I get into a hobby, I usually like go really hard in it. So you know, that's fair. So when it comes to like photography or cycling or audio, I often have to justify or give a reason as to the expensive nature of some of the purchases that I've made in service of those pursuits to people who are not a part of that hobby. You know, like a person who does in cycling, they will come to my house, maybe they see my garage and they'll be like, oh, how much is your bicycle? And I tell them the price, and like, oh my god, why would you spend that much on a bicycle? Oh, for that much you could have bought a car. Oh, for that much you could have bought this. Oh, for that much you could pay for so much many months of rent. Oh, for that, like that's okay. Like I understand the initial reaction because these are people who are looking from the outside in. They're not part of the hobby. They don't live and breathe it. They don't do it for hours and hours you know. So it seems like a lot, you know. Like sometimes I look at the price of like a sewing machine and it's like $5,000 for a sewing machine. And I'm like, wow, that's, you know, like I get sticker shock. I'm like, whoa, that's crazy, right? But I understand that, you know, people who sew, they probably are like, yeah, that's what it costs to get something of that quality. Again, there's no problem. You know, so I am used to the notion of like if a person comes from the outside in, and they look at you know how much you're spending on something, they're like, whoa, wow, Jesus Christ! Like, again, my dream, my final end game speakers, they cost 200,000 Australian dollars. You know, those are there the Bank and Orisfen BioLab 90, and I had the privilege to sit in front of a pair of BioLab 90 speakers, and I listened to them, and I'm telling you, man, $200,000 worth of speakers, it gives you something else, bro. Like I was like, I nearly cried. Man, listen, toxic masculinity got to me when I was a kid. You know how they were like, oh, if you cry, you're not a real man, bro. Man, they got to me. I haven't cried in years. I was playing a happy song, not even a sad song. But I'm not talking about a song that had like a sad memory attached to it, like a girl broke my heart, and then that was the song that I played after to feel better. None of that. A happy ass fucking song. But I heard that song rendered through Bluetooth, by the way. I'm not sure, was it through Bluetooth or Wi Fi? Doesn't matter. I heard this song rendered, and I was like, God damn, I literally felt a tear literally roll down my eye. I was like, what is this moment I'm having right now? Whoa, those are endgame speakers. If I had those speakers, listen, listen, let me admit something to you. If someone was like Emmanuel, I'm gonna get you one of the two for free. You can either have the Porsche or you can have the BioLab 90 speakers. Even though the Porsche is more than double the price of the speakers, I will get the speakers. But my problem, my point was not to tell you how much I love the BioLab 90 speakers. By the way, look up the Bang& and Olufsen BioLab 90 speakers. They are amazing. They look amazing. They're pieces of art. Anyways, that's not the point. The point isn't that I like speakers. The point is people who don't know anything about speakers or whatever, they come and they take a look at some of the purchases that I've made and then they say, wow, my God, that is a lot. And that's fine. But you know, people that are in that community, they never question it. I have literally beheld a $20,000 bicycle. And the people that were at the store where this person walked in with his $20,000 bicycle, and we talked about the bicycle, and they were like, yeah, it's $20,000. None of us were like, oh my God, that's so expensive. We were like, oh, cool. How did you get it? What does it mean? What does it signify? We're just talking about things around the bicycle. How does it feel and everything? Like the conversation just went smoothly because we are all in it. We were all at that point, many, many years into the cycling. Some of them were like into cycling for like 60 years. So they've been around the block. They know that bicycles come in all shapes and sizes and all price points, right? So for them, a $20,000 bicycle, even if it's not something that they will personally get, they just accept that certain things cost that much. So it's not something you have to explain to them. That's cool. I've also been in circles where a person will have positive questions about the price tag of something. Like for example, a person is really into audio, for example, and then they hear about Bang& and Olufsen's products, and those are a little bit higher end, and everything. They're not the highest end, by the way. I've seen $1 million speakers, but still, they are, they're definitely in the high end. And so they just have positive inquiries like, oh, what brought it to that price? What are the advantages and everything? They use the price as a conversation starter. Cool. What I've never seen, ever seen in any other community but gaming, is people that live and breathe gaming, people that live and breathe this shit day in and day out, that try to shame people into buying a higher end version or an enthusiast level version of something. I've never seen that. I have never seen like a true blue cyclist. I'm not talking about people that ride bike to work, by the way. I'm talking about people who are actual cyclists who do it for fun or for the challenge or for the sportsmanship of it or the sport of it. I've never seen them actually try to shame another person into spending their money to get themselves something that is a little bit higher end. Like, I've never seen people who are like into cycling things, be like, oh my God, you got a Pinarello Dogma 8. I think they're up to like the F12 or something. But like the point is, I've never seen that. I have never seen in any community but gaming where people have Leica cameras out there. I've never seen actual photographers try to shame other photographers for getting a Leica. And it's like, what? What is this? What kind of community is it where people that live and breathe gaming? And by the way, the thing that annoys me with these examples is that I keep taking examples where the disparity between kind of like the entry level stuff and the enthusiast level version is many, many thousands of dollars apart, right? Many thousands of dollars apart. Like for example, if you take a look at an entry level Canon camera and you take a look at an entry level Leica, like dude, the Canon camera would be like $1,000, and then the Leica would be like $6,000. Like that's many thousands of dollars apart, right? When it comes to the PlayStation 5 Pro, you have the PlayStation 5, which is $400 digital, and you have the PlayStation 5 Pro, which is $700 digital. You are not even $400 apart, bro. Like you're not even double the price, and people are losing their minds. That is crazy to me. Oh, bro. Have you guys ever been in expensive hobbies? Like, have you actually, like, I know gaming is meant to be an expensive hobby, but I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. Gaming is only an expensive hobby to you if you don't actually have expensive hobbies. I'm sorry. I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules. The only people who think that gaming is an expensive hobby are people that don't have expensive hobbies. I'm sorry. What do you want me to what do you want me to say? It's true. It's true. The only way you think gaming is an expensive hobby, when you think about the return on investment that the product gives you, the fact that you can actually have a game like Elden Ring that is 100, like that's what, $70, and that is hundreds of hours worth of gameplay. A game like Astro that has infinite replay value. A game like Breath of the Wild. Just like when you think about these things and you compare it to other hobbies, bro, gaming is cheap as fuck. I'm sorry. It's not, man, it's not even about you. It's not about me. I don't make up these rules. Bro, look at actual expensive hobbies. Try skiing. Try, photography can get expensive, but it's not necessarily an expensive hobby, but it can get expensive. But I'm mean like actual expensive hobbies, like hobbies where it's like, bro, you have to bring your game, like your wallet has to be a certain size to even start. Boy, there are expensive hobbies out there, man. There are expensive hobbies out there. And then there are hobbies that have like a low entry point that can get expensive. But I'm sorry, man. Gaming never gets there. Gaming is, pound for pound, it is by far the cheapest hobby that I have. Just because I put a lot of money into it doesn't mean that it's expensive, bro. Like, it's not. I just, oh, I get so frustrated when people say that gaming is an expensive hobby because I'm like, really? Is gaming all you do? Like, you've never done anything else? Have you ever tried owning guns? Like, have you, like, do you, do, do you do anything besides gaming? Because there's a few hobbies. There are a few hobbies that are more expensive than gaming. Sorry, that are more inexpensive than gaming. Like writing. Writing is pretty inexpensive. Pen and paper, or even just a computer to type on, that is pretty inexpensive, and that's cool. But aside from writing, it's hard to think of a hobby that's cheaper than gaming, bro. It's hard. You think about things like, oh, reading books. Books are expensive, bro. Books are expensive. I spend more money on books per year than I do on games. Like, the good thing about books is that they also like can give you a lot of hours in return. You can reread them infinitely and everything. So it's a good investment, and it's not the most expensive hobby. Like, reading books isn't like expensive, but it is more expensive than gaming because gaming is cheap. Gaming is cheap, bro. I'm sorry. Like, actually, am I sorry? I'm not sorry. It's just true. There are free to play games. There are free to play games. There are free to play games. Like, bro. And let's face it, we're not talking bullshit games. We're talking some of the most popular gaming, some of the best gaming, some of the best gameplay available free to play. There are subscription services. This Game Pass, right? Game Pass, Game Pass. Got on my PC and my Xbox. Like, gaming is cheap. Gaming is cheap. Gaming is not expensive. If you think gaming is expensive, it's your only hobby that you have. Because I'm sorry, almost anything else, it's hard. It's hard to think of a hobby that is cheaper than gaming. It's hard, bro. It is hard, bro. Like, hey, let's see. What's another gaming hobby that's like, if you like, is it calisthenics? The one where you like do workouts, but you pretty much use your body as your weight, and then you like go to like outdoor parks and everything like that. That is cheaper. I get it. Hey, no problem. Um, Running, I guess running can be cheaper than gaming because If you run like weekly, yes, you will buy yourself like really nice runners, maybe like $100 runners or more. But they will last you about a year, so you can say running is cheaper, walking is cheaper. That can be a great hobby. Of course, if you like running and walking, you may have to take into account the transportation if you're not in a most scenic place. If you have to like go on hikes and everything. If you get into hiking can get expensive. Hiking can get more expensive than gaming very quick when you think about all of the packs and the backpacks that you have to buy. But again, grant you, you can keep those for many years. That they are kind of semi-consumable items. But I guess if you're thinking in that sense, you can come up with a few things. But man, photography more expensive. uh Reading more expensive. uh what is cycling? Definitely, like that's where you start getting to proper thing. Skiing, camping, expensive. Fishing, oh my god, I didn't know how expensive fishing was. Jesus Christ. Oh mm-mm. Expensive. Oh my goodness. Bro, I just cooking is expensive. It's bro. Bro. Gaming is cheap, bro. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry to break it to you. I'm sorry if this like shattered your world, but gaming is cheap. Even if you get a 4090, bro, gaming is cheap. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter if you have a $5,000 PC. Gaming is a cheap ass hobby, bro. You just if you have like a $5,000 PC, you're like at the most upper echelon, the most rarefied air of gaming. Like, do you get what I mean? Like, at $5,000, you made it. Dude, there are hobbies that are $5,000. You are literally basement level. Like, that's like, oh man. I remember once I was watching a person on YouTube talk about his cars, right? And beautiful cars. He had a Porsche, had a this, had a that, and then he talked about taking his Porsche on a track day. And for that one day, the track insurance was $5,000. Not his tires, not the fuel, not the oil, not the maintenance of the car, just to insure the car to make sure that if the worst happened, his car will be covered. For that one day, it was five. That's not. Oh my goodness. That's not the entry to the actual track. That's just the insurance on the track. $5,000. Yeah, yeah. Gaming is cheap, bro. Oh, bro. Hey, you know what? After all that, I'm gone. Okay, I'm sorry. If you guys still think that gaming is expensive, that's okay. It's expensive for you. You don't have any other hobbies to teach you otherwise. But I can tell you that out of all of the hobbies that I personally have, and pretty much all of the ones that I've ever touched in my life, gaming is by far the cheapest, man. Poor, like maybe solving a Rubik's cube. I guess that can be cheaper because technically you just get the cube and you can get free lessons on YouTube. You don't really need a Rubik's cube coach unless you're like, I don't know, trying to like beat world records or whatever. But man, aside from that, accept it. Gaming is basement level cheap when it comes to having hobbies. And you know what? If you're around my age, or older than me, you should have been able to have been around different hobbies by now, and you should recognize the truth. When you look at the return on investment, the hours of fun that you can have, game is cheap as a motherfucker.